Good afternoon, fellow ruminators. Welcome back to another session, Rumination with Andrew. And I hope that you will like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth and incisive commentaries, news and political commentaries. Now, the title for our discussion this afternoon is Haiti, Trinidad, and Jamaica. Is the U.S. expanding military control in the Caribbean? The United States is increasing its military and security presence across the Caribbean. Foreign troops are already in Haiti. There are discussions of new security cooperation in Trinidad, and the pressure for deeper U.S. involvement is growing across the region. In this video, we examine how the U.S. is expanding security control in the Caribbean, why Haiti is a testing ground, and what Professor Jemima Peer styles as the laboratory or testing ground for deeper U.S. military involvement, the growing calls for U.S.-backed military support in Trinidad, how Jamaica is becoming part of the regional security network, what this means for sovereignty and political independence, who benefits from U.S. involvement and who loses the most, why Caribbean leaders may be walking into a long-term dependency trap. This is a must-watch for anyone concerned about the future of regional independence, security, and political direction. Now, how is the United States expanding security control in the Caribbean? Through security, they're telling us that if we want to be safe and if we want to get rid of transnational elements in our society, that we need to depend on the U.S. military. Because our Caribbean governments do not have the wherewithal and they do not have the resources, the economic resources to be able to provide us with all the surveillance apparatuses and everything that they need to be able to track and to trace and to apprehend and convict these criminals. They don't. And we cannot begin to pretend. We know that some of them are involved in the trade, but we must understand that on the whole, everybody is not. Okay, and they don't have the economic dexterity, the economic, what should I say now, wherewithal, resources to be able to take care of these things and to deal with these matters. For example, in Jamaica, where they have an IMF loan agreement, in Barbados also, they subject us to rather restrictive and stringent IMF deals and loans in which we can't really divert any funds into social programs. We also don't have programs, as I talk about social programs, the money to invest in rehabilitation. We don't have it. So all we're using is this hard policing. But what about the fact that we need to rehabilitate our people, to re-socialize them into becoming better, productive citizens, which we often will say we don't have the money to do that. Why doesn't the United States give the Caribbean some money to, to construct, as it were, some rehabilitative centers, right? So that people can be rehabilitated and they can perhaps get over some of the addictions that they find themselves closely attached and tethered to. Now, we know that Haiti is the testing ground for deeper U.S. military involvement. We've seen that from U.S. occupation of Haiti in 1915, okay, and also during the occupation in 1994, when was it 93 when the military went back to Haiti? I think it was 1994, and also when they went there to take out the president of Jean-Bertrand Aristide in 2004. So the United States has a history of intervening, of military intervention in Haiti, and all of them have been very brutal. All of them. And the United States is using, of course, criminal elements as a pretext to launch its military interventions. It always does that because it doesn't have any other pretext, and people won't believe any other pretext of the United States. So they always have to say that they're spreading democracy and freedom. And right now, in recent times, we're hearing that they're here to protect us from transnational criminals. That is what the United States is here intimating. And we have to wake up now to see that this is no ordinary times. And what the United States is doing over and over again, and they are not achieving their stated goals. the lofty ideals that they tell us that they want to accomplish, they often compound the matter. And that is what we have to really grasp at the moment. Okay? So there's a growing call for US-backed military support in Trinidad, for example, where they're seeing that their crime rate has perhaps, doubled, as it were. But is the United States, based on history, the history in all of these Latin American countries and the Caribbean, is the United States going to reduce or going to help Trinidad to reduce their crime rate and to eradicate transnational criminality? I don't think it's going to do that. It's going to compound the problem as it does in all other countries. Trinidad is no better than Haiti or any other country in the hemisphere. Ecuador, okay, is just a normal country as far as US is concerned. And they are not concerned about the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. They're more concerned about arresting the economic resources of that twin republic, island nation. Okay? Now, what does this mean for sovereignty and political independence? If the United States arrests our economic resources, then it controls us. We've lost our sovereignty. We've lost our independence because the person who controls the purse is the one who dictates the policies. The person who controls the monetary purse is the one who dictates the policies. And the person who dictates the policies is the one who controls the politics, the government. Okay? And that is what we have to understand. And many of us are not connecting the dots. We're unable to do so, and we like to talk, even though we're not following what is happening, we aren't able to connect the dots. Oh, Andrew, what you're saying is foolishness. Because you haven't read, and you have not looked at what you have not been able to look in depth at what is happening around the world and to compare what is happening there to what is happening in your neck of the woods. You are just seeing these things in an isolated manner. And Trinidad is there, Jamaica is there, Guyana is there, and Africa is over there. And there's absolutely no connection that you are able to make. Okay? You don't understand geopolitics and how it works. Okay? And this is no joke that I'm not here to play. I'm here to say to you that this is something that we have to analyze, and we have to use our heads, our brains that God has blessed us with. Okay? I'm not here to be nice right now because the United States is not acting nice. And what is about to transpire in the Caribbean region is going to be out of control for the most part. And many of us, our lives are going to be in danger. Okay? So our sovereignty is basically out at the moment because we've allowed criminality in what is happening in Haiti. That is the testing ground for what is going to happen throughout the Caribbean. The gangs and the criminal elements, are the ones who are going to take over the government, and they are going to rain terror upon the citizens of the Caribbean. Because that's exactly what is happening in Haiti at the moment. And you'd be surprised by the persons, you'd be surprised at the persons, I should say, who control these criminal networks. You'd be surprised. Okay? Now, who benefits from US involvement and who loses the most? Do we even have to ask that? We know that the United States military-industrial complex benefits the most through their contractors, through their surveillance team, through the International Monetary Fund, who will come and they will let you know that you have to, divert all the funds that you need for your social programs to pay them back, to repay your loan. Right? And this is what they do. And the game is always played and the cycle continues unabated. The cycle continues unabated, and that is what we have to understand. Now, why Caribbean leaders may be walking into a long-term dependency trap? Because we have not set our house in order. And if transnational crime takes over our country, runs amok in our countries, then the United States is going to have all the rights to come and to pretend as if she's cleaning up when all she's doing is compounding the matter and extracting our sovereignty from our grip. And that's exactly what she is doing at the moment. And many of us can't really understand what is going on around us. Okay? Because this is a business. This is a corporation that is taking over another corporate entity, which is our government, because that's what they are. All right? So we have to wake up now and see that whether it's Haiti or it is Trinidad or it is Guyana, it's Puerto Rico, it's Panama, the US is building its military bases in the region, militarizing the region, and as a result of that, controlling the region, which means that we will lose eventually every iota of our national sovereignty, and the loss of national sovereignty will mean the enslavement of our people. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that you'd like, share, and subscribe. Like the video so the video can be shared with as many people on the platform. See you in another video. Ciao.